And John, today we're going to talk about best and worst home upgrades to make while you're in retirement. So there's some good ones that add value to your home and that you're going to feel good about, and there's some ones that basically you're just pouring money down the drain.
Yeah, and this is something that you've probably thought about, that people walk into our office, talk to us about this all the time. They have this list of things that they want to do right before they retire, and they kind of cut that paycheck. And upgrading or doing improvements to your home are some of the biggest things that are at the front of folks' minds as they go into retirement. So one of the first ones that typically comes up, Pete, is that we talk to people about that you can have one of the biggest impacts on your home and in really your expenses is insulation in your home.
Yeah, absolutely. That helps in a lot of ways. It cuts down the cost of heating and cooling and that kind of thing, but also adds considerable value, and it actually is something that you get a rebate. You get earned tax credit. You know, don't pay tax, you actually get tax credit back. That's pretty good. So, and then you can go to energystar.gov to actually get more information on that whole program, but it works out well for everybody. Yep. And then garage doors. You know, you wouldn't think necessarily that that's a great thing to do, but I guess because of the way it looks, perhaps it's an insulator as well. You get about 90% of the cost back if you ever go to sell your home. So if you want a nice garage door, you basically break even. You get it for free almost by doing that. So that can be a really good thing too.
Yeah, this is actually something I've done recently. Is I upgraded my garage doors from non-insulated garage doors to insulated garage doors. Mm-hmm. And I actually have a little bit of a workout room in one of my garages, and that's really evened out the temperature. I can tell you it's saved money and energy. And you know, when you start, it's kind of like the compounding effect of these things. You insulate your attic. There's a cost to doing that, but the payback, especially if you're going to be in your home for several years, that's going to pay itself back not only when you sell the house, but also in your heating bills and when you're cooling your house in the summer. And if you think about like garage door, to your point, doesn't seem like a really big deal. But when's the last time you drove up to the house, whether it's your own house or someone else's house, is one of the first things you see is the garage door. And if they look kind of tattered and, you know, the paint's coming off, that's not a good look. So the bottom line is garage door is definitely one of them. And then I'll tell you, one of the ones that people a lot of times take for granted is the roof of your house, which can be a really big expense, but there's a cost to not having an up-to-date roof in terms of rain. I recently had someone who called me and told me about their house. They putting off a new roof and actually getting it inspected, ended up having some pretty major water damage to the house.
Yeah, absolutely. And another one I'll just throw in there, and then we'll get on to the worst ones. Front door. I think a lot of people realize that's a big deal. Just even the color of it and how it looks is kind of the first thing that people see when they walk up to your home. So then there's some things that they recommend, and some of these are kind of a surprise, that are actually worst investments. And everybody wants a really nice master suite, of course, but you only get about 57%, according to the stats that we saw, back as far as the value of that when you actually sell. So if you're planning to stay in it for a long, long time, maybe not even sell your house, you're just going to live there forever, then that can be great because you want a place that you really enjoy, but 57% back. So if you're doing that just to sell it, it doesn't seem like it's the best investment.
Yeah, and I'd say go along with that is like high-end kitchen upgrades and also high-end bathroom upgrades. But there's kind of a counterbalance to this. Like some of this really comes down to sort of who you are and how you're going to spend your time in retirement. So like for me, I'm not retired. I've got 3 kids, and anytime I can spend time in my house that I don't have to run all over town taking kids to soccer practice and everything else, like my home is my haven. So spending some extra money on a kitchen upgrade or master bedroom, whatever, I actually would be okay with that because I'm going to spend a lot of time at home. I'm a homebody. So if you're retired and you're going to spend a lot of more time locally or you're in your home, then something like that might be something just from a personal investment. You know, it's not a good payoff when you sell the house, but just for you and your quality of life might be something you consider. If you're going to be a retiree, that you're going to travel all over the place because you've raised a family and you've delayed gratification. You want to go to Europe or other places, and you're not going to spend as much time in your home, or maybe it's a short term in terms of you staying there. You're thinking about downsizing. Probably not a good investment in that situation.
Yeah, and high-end bathroom upgrades, as you mentioned, John. You'd think that some of these would add more value than it does. So if you just like the fact that you want a nice-looking bathroom, then great. But when you're thinking about money, and is it a good thing if you're going to be selling your house soon, probably not such great ideas. So we hope this has been helpful today.
Yeah. Hey, thanks for watching our show. Be sure to subscribe to our channel if you like this information. You can also visit us at retirementtalk.com.